Hi guys, and welcome to another ASMR in a tent. And I thought that I would tell you a little creepy story to help you fall asleep, hopefully anyway. Okay, this is the story. There was this guy who owed the Mafia £10,000. The boss of the Mafia said, "We need the money." He said, "I haven't got it right now." He went, "Can you please give me another week?" And the boss said, "No." He said, "We're coming round to get it tomorrow, and you better have it ready, or else." So the guy said, "But I don't have it." He said, "That's not our problem, it's yours. We'll be round tomorrow, you better have that money ready." So the guy drives back home and goes upstairs, and his wife is in bed reading a book. She has 2 diamond rings, easily worth £5,000 a piece. He says to her, "I need those rings." So she says, "Why?" He says, "Never mind why." He said, "I need them, give them to me now." She goes, "No, I'm not giving you my rings, I'm not giving them to you." He said, "Give them to me now." He wasn't a very nice man. She says, "No." So the guy grabs her and strangles her. She lies there, lifeless on the bed. He starts pulling at the rings, and they won't budge. So he's pulling them, and they won't come off. So he goes downstairs to the kitchen, and he goes and gets a meat cleaver, comes back up and chops her fingers off. He gets the rings off. He then puts her body in the boot of his car, or the trunk, and drives her to the forest, where he buries her. He then goes home and goes to sleep. Wakes up the next morning and goes to the pawn shop, where he gets £5,000 each for these diamond rings. Later on that day, the Mafia Boss comes round with 2 heavies. Says, answers the door. The Mafia Boss says, "Where's my money?" So the guy goes, "There you go, it's all there." So the Mafia Boss counts it, goes, "Yeah, you're right. Thank you very much. See you around." And he leaves. 20 years later, this guy, through crime, makes it big. He's got a big house, cars, a swimming pool, everything. And this one night, he's watching TV when there's a knock on the front door. answers the door, and standing there in the rain is this old woman with a hood up. And she says to him, she says, "I'm really sorry to bother you," she says, "but my car has broken down just down the road. Could I possibly come in and use your telephone to call the AA?" So the guy says, "Yeah, of course." He goes, "Come in." So he lets the woman in. He goes, "Sit down, please," you know. So she sits down. He says, "Would you like a drink, like, you know, gin and tonic, you know, scotch, anything like that?" She says, "No, I don't touch alcohol, thank you." He says, "How about a coffee?" So she says, "Yeah, a coffee would be nice." So he goes and he makes her a coffee. He sits down. He gives her the cup. And as she takes the cup, she's got 2 fingers missing. The guy's thinking, "No, this can't be possible, you know. I strangled her and buried her in the woods 20 years ago." So he's sitting there. She's now pulled down a hood, and her face looks familiar, very familiar. The guy's thinking, "No, it can't be, it's impossible. It's not possible." So the guy's sitting there, and he's drinking his coffee, and he thinks, "I'm gonna have to ask." So he looks at the woman, and he says, "Excuse me," he said, "do you mind if I asked you something?" And she looks at him and says, "Sure." He says, "Can I ask, what happened to your fingers?" And she said,